Oh god. Hey guys, so for those of, oh no, shoot, I can never do good intros. God, that's so awkward. What do I even say? Oh my god. Hi guys. I am currently in the middle of training for a marathon, and by in the middle I mean I have 1 week to go, so I'm towards the end, but really I'm like in the middle of my personal training, aka I've made a horrible decision and I'm in a lot of training pain. 1 week till marathon day. Marathon, I'm not doing a marathon. Oh my god, I'm doing a triathlon. Did I say marathon? I am not doing a marathon. And I'm in a different seating arrangement right now just because my normal spot, or my somewhat normal-ish spot by the wall, the sun is like hitting it directly, so I would be awkwardly like in 2 different lightings. So I thought I would do like a booktube-y thing and like have books behind me, so I'm sitting on my floor and this is one of our 4 bookshelves. So I have been tagged in the story idea tag. I am so excited. I first heard this tag done by Kim Chance because she was tagged by the creator, or the co-creator, Brooke Passmore. I don't know if, yeah, and Bethany also tagged her. So I will put the 2 creators of this tag, Bethany and Brooke, in the description below. You guys probably already know who these people are, but they created this tag back in May, and it's all about story ideas and where you get your story ideas. So I haven't like read the questions or listened to the questions since it first came out. I thought it'd be fun, aka I did not prepare to just be spontaneous with my answers, so I'm gonna try not to say but I'm gonna fail, so you get the real, authentic, uncoordinated, unorganized me. Okay, let's get to it. Number 1, current story. What is your current story idea that you are working on right now? Oh god, I have to do that. I have to summarize my book. I hate doing this. I hate this. I'm horrible at it. My story idea. Okay, it is a modern telling of the legend of the Crystal Skulls. That about sums it up. Multi-POV, and it explores human nature. Okay, getting better at this. Didn't really say too much about the plot. That's fine, right? Number 2, spark of inspiration. Do your ideas begin with characters, plot, world building, or something else entirely? Usually it's a scene. I will get a scene in my mind, and the characters haven't been fleshed out yet, and the plot hasn't been planned yet, but all of a sudden the story, it's like a scene from a movie just starts playing in my head. That's pretty much how all of my stories have developed. I don't think I've ever just like sat down and thought I should do a story about this. It's always been just like a snapshot. Like, I'm a very visual person. When I read books, I see them play out like a movie, and so when I'm writing, my scenes are also playing out like a movie. And so for every project I've worked on, I can tell you the exact scene that I pictured first. And for my current working project, the scene that I picture might not actually end up in the final draft because I've been doing some rearranging. So it's kind of weird to have that inspiration scene might not make the final cut. It's weird. Okay, number 3, brainstorm. How do you puzzle piece your story elements together? Did you start with the ending and make your way to the beginning, or vice versa? Usually the beginning. I don't think I've ever in my mind had like a middle scene and then like filled in the blanks. It's usually always the beginning. Maybe it's just because the scene I first envision, I just make that the beginning of my story no matter what, and maybe that's not the wisest thing to do. As I just said, you know, with my current work in progress, my opening is changing, and so I'm keeping some of the elements of that same scene, but I'm changing when the beginning of the story happens. So I guess I start with the beginning though, to answer the question. 4, keep or toss. How do you know when you want to keep or dump a story idea? I don't think I've ever dumped a story idea. I just like pause it. So I have a folder of like unfinished things, like multiple stories, but I never consider any of them like dumped or that I'm not gonna do. They just kind of sit in my little folder, and they probably are not gonna be finished, but I don't know. I don't ever actively choose like, no, this is it, this is horrible, forget it. Number 5, original idea. How much of your original idea for your story is actually used once everything is finished? Ooh, that's hard to say, because I feel like for me, I begin with very much like a bare bones, and it just kind of grows from there. And so I have had some changes. Like, I've had some characters. I had like 2 side characters I combined into one person. I've added extra elements that I never like thought of before for the original story. But I feel like the core of the story, like the things that I first think of when I'm developing it, stay the same. Usually the ending changes a few times, because that's something I try not to be like, this is exactly how it's going to end, because I want the story to unfold a little bit better than that. So how much? Most, but not all. Number 6, hide or share. Do you share your book ideas with friends or keep them a secret? I share them with my very closest friends. 2 people have read my book, other than my classmates. Zach hasn't even read my book yet, even though I owe it to him because I said on my birthday I was going to give it to him, and I haven't done that yet. Oops. But for the most part, I kind of keep it to myself. One of the big reasons for that is I don't know how much of it's going to change, so I don't want to tell people, oh, I'm working on this, and then end up switching gears or doing something else. I did that before. You know, I said I was working on one project and I ended up switching to something else, and a lot of people still ask me about that original project. So I just learned, like, I don't know, unless like with my book now I'm done with the first draft and, you know, submitting it and like working on it in classes and such, and so it's a little bit more concrete that this is going to be the first project that I see to completion as far as final draft goes, so I don't mind telling people as much about it now. I guess I like trickle people in. Number 7, dream. Have any of your books ideas originated with a dream or nightmare? Yes, but not one that I'm currently working on. So the one I'm working on right now did not come from a dream or nightmare, but I recently had this crazy detailed nightmare, and it was one that I wasn't like the main character. It was like I was watching this scene unfold, and it was so detailed and so interesting that I woke up, I told Zach the entire thing, and I wrote it down. And I still think it would make a really cool like horror short story. It has a lot of problems, as like dreams do, because things like that make sense in the dream don't make sense towards the end, but something about it was so interesting to me. It was a murder mystery, and like the twist ending I didn't even see coming, even though I was the one dreaming it. But I woke up, I was like, oh my god, that was an incredible nightmare that like I enjoyed watching because I wasn't actively in it. But it was weird, so I don't know if it actually makes sense. Number 8, doppelganger. Have you ever had an idea for a story but then see a similar premise in a book / TV show / movie? Oh my god, yeah, for sure. Like, I don't know anyone who hasn't. I mean, every book you can ever think of has already been written, so the best you can ever do is tell your side of the story. With mine, I actually had titled it a very long time ago, and for those of you who don't know, the title of my book right now is Guardians of the Skulls, and I say that right now because, you know, if I get agented and a publisher wants a different title, like, whatever. But that's sort of my working title right now. And I had never, when I first came up with the idea years and years ago and titled it, I had never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, and now I know how similar it sounds. And I even saw Guardians of the Galaxy last year for the first time, and there are certain elements that are frustratingly similar, but you know, it's an element that's been repeated, and it is how the actual legend of the Crystal Skulls goes, as far as, you know, each skull holding different power and they all come together and it's a superpower. And Guardians of the Galaxy, they have like the ring things, or the stones, you know what I mean? I don't know, I see the similarities and it's annoying, but what are you gonna do? And also there's a Nancy Drew game based on the Legend of the Crystal Skulls, and the Indiana Jones movies based on the Legend of the Crystal Skulls, and I've had people tell me like, hey, you've got these similar elements. It's like, yeah, it's a real legend, you know? It's like writing about vampires and then saying, oh my god, but your vampires also drink blood. That's very similar to this vampire story. It's like, yeah, I know. Number 9, big screen inspiration. Have any of your favorite movies, TV shows sparked ideas for scenes in your book? Yeah, probably. I'm a huge, like, I love movies that after you finish watching it, it just sticks with you and you like picture yourself in that movie. And ooh, as far as like, wait, is the question scenes? Sparked ideas for scenes in your book? Not so much exact scenes. I would say feelings. Like I want my readers to feel a certain way and feel inspired and empowered, but actual scenes, all I can think of is maybe, I don't want to give away my ending, but the ending of my book has a like sort of labyrinth style feel to it, and I definitely was inspired by the Sorcerer's Stone movie slash book, where, you know, there's different levels and like you have to complete certain tasks, and I would say that inspired that. Like I really liked that labyrinth style. Okay, number 10, nostalgia. What's the oldest slash first story idea you remember coming up with writing slash writing down? I have like little ones from when I was a kid that I don't actively remember writing, but I found like my notebooks full of them. I kind of remember writing one of them, but I would say the big idea that I first came up with, I still really like the story, and honestly I could see myself finishing it maybe. Like it's not the project I want to work on right now, but I like the direction of it, and it's called Dreams right now, and it's about these two friends. It would be a middle grade novel. It's about these two best friends, a guy and a girl, and they have these dreams that of like a life before theirs, so it kind of plays with the idea of like reincarnation a little bit, and it was very much so inspired by Dreadful Sorry. Like I think I had just read Dreadful Sorry and then I like started doing this. I loved Dreadful Sorry, it's a great book. Which like the girl, she like has these visions, or no, these dreams slash visions of this girl who lived a very parallel life to hers, and she keeps having like these flashbacks and premonitions about things that are gonna happen, and like, and so I don't think the book ever says for certain like that she was reincarnated, or if it's just like a ghost haunting her with these similarities. I don't know. I think that's like left up to you, but this would play with more reincarnation, and it was gonna be a trilogy, and I've written not very much of it at the time, you know, in middle school I think, or maybe I was in high school. I think it was like 8th grade. I thought I had written so much, and it was like 20 slash, yeah, like 20-ish pages, and I'm like, wow, I'm basically an author. Like I wrote a lot of that book, but no. But I still think it's a really cute story idea, so I can see myself finishing it, and it would be like a romance as well, slash paranormal. I don't know. I feel like I'm drawn to middle grade and I'm in denial about it. But the one I'm working on right now is young adult, so not middle grade. Too deathy for middle grade. Okay, that's it, I think. I think I got them all, hopefully I didn't skip any. Let me just triple check. Anyway, that was so fun, and I actually have people I want to tag. I tag Heidi from Listen, I Have an Idea. I tag Hey Jazz Little, who recently changed her name. She has a new pen name, which is so amazing. And I tag Stephen Partridge, and I am not sure if Stephen has done this yet. He might have. So Stephen, if you've already done this, I'm really sorry. So sorry. And if you have already done this, I will find out when I upload, and I will put yours in the description below as well. Okay. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Books I'm reading. Okay, what book am I reading? Oh, my foot's asleep. Oh God, but I can't move it. Oh God, I'm not flexible. What did I just start reading? Oh, you know what I recently read? Is it with me right now? It's right here, actually. Kind is the New Classy by Candace Cameron Bure. And it's actually signed. I got a signed copy. I love her books, and for those of you who have never read her books, just to give you a heads up, they are pretty religious. I'm not actually like a super religious person myself, as far as like, you know, following the Bible and Christianity and all that jazz, and so there is a lot of like religious elements, but I don't mind reading religious readings and like kind of like altering it and like getting out of it something I can relate to, if that makes sense. But I think she says some really incredible things about kindness and like being more a graceful person and responding with compassion versus anger. And I just really like she gives like a lot of really good practical examples, and I don't know, I read this and I just felt better. I felt more peaceful. I felt like, I just really agree that kind is the best thing in this whole world that you can be, and that's something that I always try to remember. And I kind of worry that living in a big city, I've lost that a little bit. You know, public transportation will make you very angry if you let it. But this was just a really good reminder, and I really enjoyed it. So I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. Alright, that is it for my video. And of course, as always, I tag all of you guys as well. And I'm starting to get stuffed up being on this floor. I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.